So I'd like to take you with me on a trip, if you don't mind. It begins at a place I'll call Brokenville. Technically, we're in Chattanooga, Tennessee, headed to Southern California, but trust me, where I am is Brokenville, as bad as it gets. Let me explain. My wife recently filed for divorce for good reason. I'm frail because I've lost 30 pounds without trying. The TV network where I'm hosting a national cable show, the David Magee Show, is thinking about dropping me off the air because every few days or so I've got one excuse or another to not get on the air. Oh, and I'm almost out of money and I'm not sure I got a paycheck coming anytime soon. It's early on a Monday morning in late January, and I'm running away from myself with the only possessions I have left in the world. My Honda Insight compact car, my clothes, and this box of books I'd written over the past decade studying enduring iconic brands as an author, like John Deere, Moon Pie, Ford Motor Company, Louisville Slugger, Toyota, the Dallas Cowboys. Don't bother looking any of them up. Most are long gone out of print by now. It's just that for me, studying these brands with inside access as an author was the apprenticeship of a lifetime. I learned so many valuable lessons, yet here I am. My son William is occupying the front seat on the trip. He's a 21-year-old junior in college at the University of Mississippi who's coming along for the ride, our 32-hour journey west. He's coming along honestly because he's worried about me. He wants to make sure I don't have to make this trip alone. That's fine. He looks good on paper. He's been in the honors college making A's, on the track team as a letterman, as a sprinter, and he's got the sweetest soul of about anybody I know. But I'm worried about him too. I'm afraid he's got a growing alcohol and drug problem based on evidence. So here's my plan. I'm going to counsel him along the way on the virtues of good living, and I'm going to hope some of it sticks. We're so close in the car, our elbows touch in the center console. And we've got jackets in our lap because there's record cold and snow forecast for the road ahead. I'm taking the first shift driving because I'm all hopped up, though, on the morning's coffee and Vyvanse pill. I started on an Adderall prescription 18 months ago. That's part of how I got here. A doctor suggested these pills dispensed to me at maximum dosage possible would help me focus more on work instead of distracting life problems. He later switched me from Adderall to Vyvanse when I complained a little bit, still at maximum dosage, suggesting these won't be as addictive, but so much for that. Every morning when I take those pills, it's like communion with the devil because it makes me crave alcohol and nicotine. And I gotta tell you, daily alcohol use combined with even prescription maximum dose speed, that's a recipe for disaster. It's taken my life away and it's harnessed my soul. By late afternoon, we've moved into western Arkansas. Snow has started to fall. William has dozed nearly the entire time. I've tried talking to him, wake him up, asking him questions, and he just answers groggy, almost incoherent. I suspect he's on something, opiates, like painkillers without a prescription. We need gas in a bathroom break, so I pull into a station and I wake him up. He grabs his backpack. "Be right back," he says, and he goes inside the station. I fill the tank with gas, go inside the bustling store, get a coffee, stand in line, pay for it, and William's nowhere in sight. Back at the car 20 minutes later, the door swings open with a quick pull. "What are you waiting on, Daddy-O?" Back on the road, my son is now talking so much I can barely keep up. He's talking about the song on the radio and the weather and the fact that he's never been to Oklahoma less than an hour away. I'm now concerned my son is high as a kite on an upper, cocaine perhaps, that he used in the gas station bathroom. I'm so upset I could cry, but I can't. The Vyvanse. We've moved into Oklahoma now. The day has turned to night and the winter storm is raging. The snow is falling so heavy, flakes are clumping together, they're the size of cotton balls, and they're piling up at more than 2 inches an hour, and the wind is blowing, blizzard conditions. My Honda Insight car is struggling, barely getting through, and I'm concerned we could be in real trouble. William sees an exit up ahead, and even though I see cars and trucks lining both sides of the road and a giant pile of white in the middle, I figure it's our only chance. So I push the floorboard pedal down to the floorboard, and we hold our breaths, and swoosh, we crash into a big wall of white. Great, we're stuck. We've just got one option. We see a hotel over in the distance, barely, through the snow. We're going to have to get our essentials. William gets his backpack. I get my bottle of Vyvanse. We're going to have to leave all my possessions in the car and leave the car in the road overnight and hope for the best. We pull on our jackets and we make a run for it. And we're clumsily slipping and falling and slipping and picking one another up until we finally made it inside the lobby of a warm Holiday Inn Express, and we are high-fiving and hugging and celebrating and cheering like we have just won an Olympic race. We got to tell your mom, I say. She's never going to believe it. We're connecting like we once did. It's funny, William says, this trip is a disaster, but it's also amazing. And right there, I see my opportunity. Here's the thing, William. It's a lesson I learned studying those enduring brands. Failure cultivates opportunity. Take the moon pie as an example. More than a century ago, the Chattanooga Bakery, which makes the moon pie, started out producing everyday snacks like lemon cookies and ginger snaps, and demand for those products was eroding, and it was very competitive among other regional bakeries. And so the Chattanooga Bakery was faced with extinction or getting creative. Thus, the moon pie was born. And now, 100 years later, it's the only single product Chattanooga Bakery makes, and it's an icon. I get it, William says. What else did you learn? Okay, I got one. Rid all that adds no value. It's a basic premise of the Toyota way, how this once small Japanese automaker became one of the world's largest and most efficient. By focusing on the regular elimination of waste, they developed a process of continuous improvement. Okay, I get it, William says. What else did you learn? Yeah, I got more. Here's another. Plan big, execute small. Plan big so that you have, ambitious, elevating goals, something to reach for. But execute small. Do the little things every day that contribute to that end, but make your daily life that much better. Tell me more, William says. All right, look, we got to go to bed. We got a long day ahead. Last one. But it's a favorite, the power of design. In the early 20th century, John Deere was logjam among several agricultural equipment manufacturers worldwide. They had the power and they had the quality, but something was missing. So in the early 1950s, John Deere decided to double down on cutting-edge design with its products, utilizing the talents of world-class industrial designer Henry Dreyfuss. Literally, almost overnight, John Deere became number one, a position they haven't relinquished yet today. I'm up early the next morning drinking coffee, and I see on the television news, we've survived one of the biggest snows in the history of Oklahoma at more than 1.5 feet. And I'm thinking about those lessons I shared last night with my son William. Rid all that adds no value. Plan big, execute small, in the power of design. Yet when I look at myself in the mirror, I see a man broken and frail. How can I expect to get my son clean when I'm addicted myself? Why do I keep drawing a line between my doctor-prescribed drug use and his illegal one when both of us are being cored by the very same sharp knife? I want to be a positive, an influential father, not a negative, a father under the influence. I walk into the bathroom and I get my Vyvanse bottle and I unscrew the top and I dump the 25 remaining pills into the toilet and flush. And they're gone. Get up, the sun is up, I shout to William. We got new frontiers to conquer, buddy. It's hard to believe, but that car is still waiting on us. It's still sitting out in the road. We have no idea how to get it unstuck, so we just start digging with our hands. But lo and behold, and I promise this is true as every bit of this story, along comes a man riding on a well-styled John Deere tractor. And he gives us a push, and we get back on our way slowly down the interstate. And I strike upon this opportunity to father my son a bit more, using another lesson I learned studying those enduring brands. It doesn't matter whether we mess up, William, because everybody messes up. But as long as one casts blame, it's hard to achieve self-respect. When we take complete responsibility, we can learn to respect ourselves and others, and we can find peace. It's not lost on me that I'm talking to William, but lecturing myself. And it's working. I can see it now. I felt stuck, unsure of how to break the vicious daily cycle and fix my broken life. But I have all the answers right here in this box that'll work for me anyway. I just need to put them into daily practice. So we've moved into the higher elevations of New Mexico. And the sun set an hour ago. It's a crystal clear night, which is helping the temperatures drop rapidly. It's already 16 degrees below zero, the coldest either of us have ever witnessed in our lifetime. I'm worried about my Honda's hybrid battery, but there's nothing in sight. No cars, no houses, no hotels, no gas stations, nothing. We only got one option, and that's to press on. It feels like we're traveling in space, I say, whatever that feels like. Well, William says, we should stop and get out and find out what that feels like. Well, son, here's the problem. I got an update for you. The car now says it's 18 degrees below zero, which means the wind chill's probably 30 degrees below zero. So I don't know. Well, Daddy-O, he says, you only live once. He's got a point on that. So I pull the car over to the shoulder, put it in park, and leave the engine running. We pull on our jackets, look at one another, and smile. Let's go, I say. We bolt into the frigid night, and we're laughing and shouting and having a time of our life, running in circles around the car like madmen and exhaling icicles, until finally we're huffing and puffing and we're catching our breath, and we meet at the back of the car. And I link my arm with my son's, and I say, we're at the center of the universe right now. It's never been so cold, William, in the history of record keeping as it is at this spot at this moment. And we're here for it. We lean back against the car, and I look up into the sky, and I promise you, I have never in my life seen stars so many. And I have never seen so many stars shine so bright. And for the first time, that logical part of my brain that works to keep faith at arm's length away from my soul gives way. I have an insight, and I don't mean the car I'm driving. I'm just a man traveling in a universe that is so much bigger than myself. A universe that's managed by a higher power. And I, just a man, must trust this because I am powerless and my life has become completely unmanageable. As we near Southern California the next day, it's clear to me that I'm on the outskirts of a new destination, and it has nothing to do with where we are on the map. I've left Brokenville. I've got a plan that'll work for me, and I'm taking up residency in a new location, Wellbeingville. That trip was taken precisely 10 years ago. 2 years later, I found my son William dead from an accidental drug overdose. I miss him so much each and every day. You just can't even imagine. Yet a part of him lives on because my son William helped save me on that journey. As a result, I put a simple plan into place based upon the valuable lessons that I'd learned from these enduring iconic brands. And it worked. I got my life back. I got my wife back. And I found lasting joy, durable enough even to navigate life's most difficult circumstances, like losing a child. That's why I'm sharing this story with you, because I want everyone, everywhere, who's stuck in Brokenville to know that there is a much, much better place. Wellbeingville is waiting on you.